Hi everyone, Doug Collins here, host for today's class on dark patterns and dark design. Today I want to talk with you about dark patterns, which are the tricks that designers use to get you to make decisions that are against your best interests. I'm excited to talk about the different psychological concepts behind this. Excited to talk about the patterns themselves, and I'm also excited to talk about the ethics of UX design and how to handle being asked to implement these designs if we are asked to do so as part of our work as UX design professionals. So let's dive into a quick bit about me. If you want to skip the introduction about me and get right to the course content, I'll put a link down at the bottom of the video. For right now, though, let's talk a quick bit about me, just for those of you that don't know me. Again, my name is Doug Collins. I'm a UX UI engineer. I currently work for a company called Khaki, which makes products and services for the defense and intelligence industries. In the past, I've worked as a design or technological professional for E-Trade, Nordstrom, the Denver Broncos, and I was permanently contracted to a company called Four Winds Interactive. I worked for a different company, was permanently contracted to them. At Four Winds Interactive, they make interactive digital signs, and I got to make signage and work on projects for Marriott International's corporate headquarters, the Prime Minister of Dubai, the United Nations, the New Orleans Saints, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of different projects I worked on there. Those were some of the more interesting ones. Certainly was a great, fun place to work. I do have 10 years of UX design experience. I currently run uxnewsmag.com as well as the Afternoon Answers podcast. You can find me on Twitter at DougCollinsUX, which is where I'm most active. You can find pretty much everything that I've done so far in the UX world at denveruxer.com. And I will be at UX Copenhagen March 30th to 31st, 2020, talking about different projects that designers are doing in their communities to make their community a better place and designing for good. So let's jump in and talk about dark patterns. So what are dark patterns? Dark patterns are the design tricks that get users to do things they didn't mean to do for the benefit of the business creating the design. There are three key elements to defining whether or not something is a dark pattern. So when we think about dark design, the first thing that we look at is the design must be intentional. And I have in here a reminder about Hanlon's razor. So Hanlon's razor essentially says, never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity, but don't rule out malice. What that means is that sometimes bad design is just bad design. Intent is certainly important as part of these pieces, and sometimes things that look like dark patterns are just the result of people who don't really know what they're doing and trying to push an agenda, or maybe, I'm sorry, not necessarily trying to push an agenda. So next thing we look at is that it must trick the user into doing something that they wouldn't otherwise do. UX design is about guiding users to making the choices that they would make otherwise because those choices are good for them, right? So doing what's in the best interest of the user and uncovering those choices and those opportunities in ways that are easy, simple, and intuitive. Dark design works in very much the opposite way. Dark design seeks to create designs that guide users in a direction that is not beneficial for them, which leads us to the last point, that the benefit of the design must fall disproportionately to the business creating the design or its affiliates. So the user may get some small benefit out of things, but the vast majority of the benefit of the design is going to fall to the business creating the design. So some of the class objectives here today, we're going to learn about the psychology that drives dark patterns. We're going to talk about the different psychological tenets that allow dark patterns to thrive. We're going to understand the patterns themselves and how they work so we can more easily spot them. And we are also going to discuss the ethical principles of UX design and how to handle being asked to handle this problem in our workplace or spotting them and pointing them out going forward. What this class isn't is a finished product, so your feedback is absolutely essential. This class will be updated with feedback and thoughts from the community, so please leave a comment in the comment section below on any of my videos if you have any thoughts that you'd like to share, any questions, anything like that. I'll be keeping an eye on those. Otherwise, we will also be updating this video to be more visually attractive going down the road as well. You can also, if you would like, donate at patreon.com/DougCollinsUX if you are feeling so moved. Again, this class is 100% free, but any little bit that you feel that you might be getting some worth out of it, please feel free to donate there. If you do donate at patreon.com/DougCollinsUX, I will list you as a producer on the final version of this video when it comes out, hopefully in a couple of months. So in our next section, our next video, we are going to be talking about how do dark patterns work. we're going to be looking at the different psychological principles that allow dark patterns to thrive and function. So let's jump right into that in our next video.